You're listening to The Burning Truth. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, or should I say, ladies and gentlemen, dudes and dudettes, I am your host, Matt Burns, and I've got to say, what a massive, interesting week we've had of wrestling, especially with it being the post-WrestleMania week and everything. There's been plenty to talk about and whatnot. However, just to mention, I will be giving out quick results of WrestleMania, so if you haven't seen it, you should have by now. I will be most likely doing a quick glance over some of the results, but I just want to get some major points I feel that should be mentioned for WrestleMania and a few other topics on top of that. But it is, I won't be able to cover everything because I have got a lot to cover because there is so much going on this week. Right. One thing I will state with WrestleMania, one piece of news that quite surprised me. The streak is over. Charlotte Flair defeats Asuka. She was ready for Asuka. Now, my personal views on this, me personally, yes, I understand she's Charlotte Flair. And a lot of people are going to be instantly assuming she's Flair's daughter, she should get everything. As much as a lot of people might state that, and it could be true or whatnot, you can't deny Charlotte Flair's work. She puts the work in. Just look at what she's done so far. As much as you can say she's a Flair and whatnot, the difference is she has put the work in. And if being a Flair was so great, why is it that a certain Flair, son of Flair that was on WCW never became a world champion? But no, we won't digress into that too much because and whatnot. But Charlotte Flair defeats Asuka with a tap out using the figure 8 leg lock, or some might say the figure 6, as she couldn't get her arm, one of her arms fully down for it due to the arm being worked over. Now, what I was surprised with was when that I was expecting the lock to be put in, Asuka to get out. At least it be in multiple attempts. Not for it to be over from being in it. Now, at least we can say, the streak is over. A lot of people can say, but at the same time, I can understand why Charlotte did win the streak, because as much as everybody can say, the streak is not that much time, take into account the streak started in NXT. She's beaten Goldberg's record. She smashed Goldberg's record of longest winning streak. What more can you say? Not many, and whatnot. I'm not sure if she had the most matches as well. She dominated. And what a time to lose it anyway, at least. Because either way, in this result, the only way I can see this going is whoever wins this match will most likely be getting a match against against somebody who debuted at WrestleMania and whatnot, which would most likely be Ronda Rousey. Now, Be as that may, Charlotte is a prime suspect to still be going against Rowdy Ronda Rousey. Definitely. Because, the fact that she's got the streak done and dusted and what, she is one of the most dominant women on there. She was able to beat the streak and whatnot. Now, if that wasn't the case, and Asuka won, it would most likely be that Asuka would keep her winning streak until the next WrestleMania and fighting Rowdy Ronda Rousey. Which, if WWE were going to be very smart, if they had Asuka, they would have Rowdy Ronda Rousey be undefeated as well. So, straight away there, it would be setting the tone immediately. They could still do that with Charlotte, with Ronda going in, still undefeated at the next WrestleMania. Who knows? But more news for Charlotte later and whatnot. But one thing I will state that I did find a bit interesting was that Charlotte was not on this week's program at all. Was that to protect her or something? Don't know, but I think her not being there. I understand they had a lot to do on Raw this week and SmackDown and whatnot, but we'll have to see what's coming. However, I will predict that Asuka will most likely be making an appearance next week, for sure. At least on one of the shows, or if not both. But more on that later. Now, with that being mentioned, I've got to move on to the next topic. Just so you know, this is I'm not doing it in match order with WrestleMania and whatnot. If it was that the case, I'd have to memorise everything and whatnot. It'd be all over the place. So I may be a little bit all over the place with certain things with WrestleMania and whatnot. So I do apologise. Braun's tag team partner. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thought it? Nobody. Everybody, the rumours, this, that. We had one person saying, it's going to be Big Cass, it's going to be The Rock, it's going to be Dave Bautista, it could even be Hulk Hogan. There were so many people. Even Rey Mysterio was rumoured possibly to be his tag team partner. Now, what was so interesting with this was the fact that we had Braun going out stating he couldn't announce his tag team partner because he's here. He could only be here at WrestleMania. And he went through the crowd. Now, which I might add, possibly did go through a number of wrestlers walking past him. To mostly indie fans or indie darling fans and whatnot, they'd be like, pick him, pick him, pick him. What the biggest shocker was the fact that a child was picked. Nicholas. Now, it was astounding the fact that he picked a child, got him to the ring, and I'm thinking to myself, if that child is not, an employer's son of WWE, I can see a lawsuit coming somewhere. Massively. But, lo and behold, that rumour has already been shown that he is a son, potentially of a, son of one of the referees of WWE. But even so, it still might, as much as someone say, oh, he probably got it all clued up and everything, he knows the business. Really? You could see during that moment, he wasn't sure what was going on. That could have been like a birthday surprise. Who knows? And I will state, what a WrestleMania moment to create. Braun Strowman defeating the bar with Nicholas as his tag team partner. Outstanding. And I mean that, absolutely outstanding. Now, it was just unbelievable, the fact is. But as for the news in regards to that, what happened after, more on that later, at the very least. But it created a WrestleMania moment. But not only did it create a WrestleMania moment, it in fact created a brand, it broke a record. Now, a lot of people are going to be saying, how did he break a record? Well, a lot of people are going to say, that's the first fan champion. No, that's not that one. The record that was broken when Braun and Nicholas won the belts was that Nicholas became the youngest ever champion for WWE. And I can't see that record being broken anytime soon. Especially when the former champ was Rene Dupree. But wow. Absolutely astounding. What a record to break. It's a WrestleMania moment there and then. I will state, I will laugh my ass off if Nicholas does become if he does become a wrestler, big on him. And I hope if he does do it, Braun's still around to tag with him. Who knows? It could even possibly lead to them regaining the tag team championships. Now, one thing I'm going to be stating now is one of the main events for WrestleMania. This is going to be the AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I will state, I didn't expect the finish, being from the Stars Clash, and however, I did expect AJ to go over, especially with the AJ versus Shinsuke Nakamura. They're now one apiece. But a lot of people have panned it stating, oh, it's not as good as the first encounter. It's not as good. WWE should let them go off. But at the same time, you've got to understand, WWE can't let them go off as much as they could on the independents or in New Japan and whatnot. They still have rules and regulations. They still have sponsors that they have to keep happy. And whatnot. Me personally, I thought it was still an outstanding match. Amazing. Cannot knock it. Now, the biggest shock of the match, okay, a lot of people say, it's not as good as the first encounter. The thing that shocked me more than anything was the twist. I will be honest with you, for how pally they were being, I was possibly expecting a AJ Styles heel turn. I never expected a Nakamura heel turn. Especially as he's handing the belt. I thought to myself, as I saw him kneeling there, handing the belt, I thought, nah, they're not going to do this. They're not going to do that. Nah, look, gives him the belt. There you go. Fantastic man with respect. Boom. I was gobsmacked. I did not expect a Nakamura heel turn. And what was so amazing is, I'm just going to mention one thing from SmackDown now, a bit early, is the fact that when he got asked about it, when he got asked what was it all about, heat of the moments and whatnot, blah blah blah. Are you going to apologise? Blah blah blah. Are you sorry and whatnot? His words were, you can see that he was sorry. Even when he apologised, you can see he was being devious, and that his apology wasn't heartfelt. And I will state, amazing. Absolutely amazing. The fact that they've done this. What a way to... As much as I like Nakamura, I felt he was getting stale. And yes, I understand he is so over. But there's only so much you can do with it. There's only as much... I know he's over, but unless he's winning that belt, he had to do something. Now with this brings a shock surprise. Now, what's going to be even bigger is with it is wait till that third match. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura, their third match. We have no idea when it's going to happen, but when it does, it's going to be big. It's going to be absolutely massive. And I think the fact that he's even playing off the fact, he even states during the interview when he's, apologising, I say with air quotes, that he doesn't speak very good English. I did not expect that. That was funny, but at the same time I felt a bit stereotyping, but it's getting him so much heat. He knows, and it's clever. I think Nakamura could end up becoming a top number one heel on SmackDown, and he really can. He could end up taking SmackDown by storm. This could be the thing that actually gives him the WWE Championship. This could lead to it, because the fact is, it's red hot. It's it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I know a lot of people can say, oh, we don't want Nakamura to be heel. It doesn't always mean, just because you don't want it doesn't mean it's what's right for business. I personally think Nakamura doing the heel turn is best for business, because AJ, as much as he is a good heel, he is so over with the fans. I don't think the fans would accept him as a heel right now. Where Nakamura right now is fully embracing the heel, and the crowd are accepting it the way they are running it. I hope they keep this work off and they do not flounder. Pull the trigger when it's time. WWE, please. Now, another WrestleMania moment that was created was the fact that Daniel Bryan made his return to wrestling after getting the all clear. And I will state, I understood the start of his match. Oh, let's take him out to have a bit of rest. They're still protecting him. As much as a lot of people can state, oh, that's cheap and whatnot. You can see, I'll be honest with you, Shane, damn, he's tough. Especially with the fact that he was not well. He wasn't well. He was suffering through that match. He put his heart and soul, and you can see how much he tried. But at the same time, I have to give credit to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for making it look as brutal as they did on Shane McMahon, while also protecting him. But when Daniel Bryan got in that ring and started to clean house, you could see every crowd member cheering, yes, yes, yes. And what a moment. And I mean that. What a moment. Now, one thing I'm going to clearly mention right now with that, it was just unbelievable. And I mean that. Apologies if you can hear typing noises. It's just, I'm having to do this at the same time. Right, now, let's move on to the next, and I will say, big shock, because I didn't, the next big shock, but actually, you know what, go back to Daniel Bryan. What was so surprising is, I actually thought Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens were going to win this match, because secured the jobs. Now, they're out the job, but, wow, I did not see that coming. But, at the same time, I'll save how they are continuing the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn story a bit later. More on that later. Now, the next piece of information I thought was absolutely astounding and unbelievably shocking was the fact that you had Brock Lesnar defeating Reigns. Wow. I did not see that coming. I really did not see that coming. Simply because the fact is, I didn't see it coming, because everyone's been saying Roman Reigns to win, Roman Reigns to win, Roman Reigns to win. It's been ongoing for a year. And what was so weird is that Brock Lesnar's contract with the WWE was getting closer and closer to ending, and that there was talks of UFC. Dana White was even at WrestleMania and whatnot, clearly showing that he's after Brock Lesnar. What I have to thank WWE for, and I feel sorry for both Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, especially with the crowd chanting boring. Really, they put in a clinic, and I have to give Roman Reigns props for taking them elbow shots that busted him open. The fact that he still continued with his head pouring. Now, a lot of people don't really know. The finish of this match was supposedly finally decided halfway through the match. Next to nobody knew about it. Nobody knew about it in regards to it. It was only, limited people who were told. A lot of people expected F5, get up, boom, spear. End of. What was so shocking is the fact that you got, Brock Lesnar defeating Roman Reigns 1, 2, 3. But the only thing that I will agree with the fans that probably while they were chanting boring is, how many F5s? How many? I wouldn't mind. Undertaker took 3 to beat the streak. They should not be just having Roman doing that. Taking them 3 on the bounce. Really? It's stupid. I know you really want to put Roman over, but my God, if you want to give him sympathy, stop pushing him this strongly. Roman can actually get over. He's been, one thing I will state, his promos leading up to it, to WrestleMania, was absolutely fantastic. Let him use that. Don't keep pushing so hard. Especially, 5 F5s. You just killed Brock's finisher by doing that. I know it's WrestleMania, but no. Don't do that, WWE. Just no. But as for the Brock Lesnar news, we found out after that he has got a contract extended, and he will be redefending that the championship, WWE Universal Championship against Roman Reigns. I think possibly in a steel cage. Not sure what match it is. Unfortunately, I do think it's a steel cage at the Greatest Royal Rumble event that is coming up. But as for what is on Roman's agenda for after that, for Backlash, I will be mentioning that later. Now, for my final basic, big surprise, big news for WrestleMania that I'm going to be actually discussing before I go through the quick results for WrestleMania 34 is Ronda, Rowdy Ronda Rousey. My God, fantastic! Absolutely showed that she deserves to be in the ring. A lot of people did not doubt it. Had doubted this match. They were expecting Kurt and Triple H be, do most of the work and what the heavy lifting and everything. I have got to give credit where credit is due. Stephanie was fantastic. Ronda was fantastic. Everybody in the match, perfect. absolutely perfect. The way the match was going, what was so interesting is how they played off the match. What made it so weird is, at one point, I legit thought Triple H and Stephanie may actually win this, because it's of a certain counter where I predicted potentially that Kurt was going to have the ankle lock and Ronda was going to have the armbar, and I thought double tap, and then instead Triple H sent Kurt Angle flying into Ronda Rousey, and I thought, oh my god, this is going to lead to a finish. This is going to lead to the finish. It's going to lead to them winning. And I thought, if that happened, there would be a lot of people upset, but it still looked believable. It still looked believable, but my god, they told the story absolutely fantastic. And what was so menacing was the fact that once Ronda had claimed Stephanie's arm, you know, Stephanie portrayed that fear in her. The fact that she's portrayed that fear is the, please don't break my arm, please don't break my arm, please don't break my arm. Boom! Snaps it in, tap, and they potentially play off that she's broken her arm. Absolutely fantastic. And then, you know, I'm going to have to mention Raw now a little bit, especially with, you know, with Stephanie McMahon being there. Again, literally stating that, you know, her friend Ronda Rousey sucking up, and it looked like she was trying to convince Ronda Rousey onto the dark side. And what was so clever was that Ronda made it look like she may do, but I just love the fact that she can go from the smiley face straight to, I'm going to kill you face. And I have seen that so many times, especially in the hard-up for her match for UFC. She is fantastic with that look. They, you know, one thing I will state, Ronda Rousey, the Kurt Angle, Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon got the highest rewards for Dave Meltzer. And I'm finding it, what's so weird is, I am going through the WrestleMania card right now, and I'm finding it very difficult to argue with it. Even though they had a fantastic triple threat match, I'm gonna have to agree with Dave Meltzer, especially with the fact that Ronda Rousey is just come in, and it doesn't have to be the best wrestling in the world. The thing that was so amazing was that the fact that they told the story of that match perfectly, exactly how it should be, done so well. So, congratulations to Ronda Rousey, Kurt Angle, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon for their WrestleMania match. Now, I'm now just going to do some quick fire results. You know, as much as you've probably already heard the results from what I've been talking about already, but I'm just going to have to mention some of the results right now, very, very quickly, which I will state pre-show. You know, Andre the Giant Memorial Trophy was won by Matt Hardy, last eliminating Baron Corbin, simply because of Bray Wyatt returning and possibly as a face. Did not see that coming. Really didn't. Cedric Alexander defeating Mustafa Ali to become the brand new WWE Cruiserweight Champion. I did see this, but what a match. Shouldn't have been on the pre-show. I think it was good enough to be on the main card. Should have been. And the 20 Women Battle Royal for the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal Trophy. This, I thought, was brilliant. This is definitely one prediction I was so happy to be wrong on. And I'll be honest with you. I expected Sasha to win this, but I thought it was done beautifully, especially with Bayley, how she eliminates Sasha. They're thinking it's them too. And, you know, all of a sudden, boom, out of nowhere, Bayley throws her out. Arms up, celebrating. I've won it, I've won it. And then we find out Naomi wasn't eliminated. Genius. And the fact that she was so focused on Sasha, she didn't realise that Naomi wasn't eliminated. And BAM! That cost her the match. And you know, I'm now just going to speed this up now for the main show. Seth Rollins defeated The Miz and Finn Balor to become WWE Intercontinental Championship. One thing I will state, what an entrance for, I think Seth Rollins probably, me personally, out of, and an amazing entrance. Miz is not. It was okay, but what was interesting was the Miz sent the Miz to Arch to the back, and it did like Finn Balor's entrance. But what a match that was as well. Charlotte Flair defeating Asuka, as we've already mentioned. Jinder Mahal defeating Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, and Rusev. Now, this I do not agree with. As much as I understand why they have done it, because yes, Jinder Mahal was not as big as a success as WWE Champion. I understand that giving him the United States Championship, potentially as a mid-carder, but I feel as though they shouldn't have given it to Jinder Mahal, especially with Randy Orton just winning it so recently. Basically, they just made Randy Orton a transitional champion. What the hell? And the person who I thought should have won it, Rusev, he should have won it. He really should have won it and whatnot. He was so over. You can see them all, you can see the entire crowd chanting Rusev Day. Why not just give it him? Why not? But more on Rusev potentially a bit later. As I just mentioned, Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey defeated Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. And the match after was the Triple Threat Tag Team match for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship, which the Bludgeon Brothers became the new champs, defeating the Usos and the New Day. What was so amazing was the fact that this match was essentially a short match. And I just realised I'd missed off one topic. That was that I'm going to have to cover right now, straight after this, the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship. What was so interesting with the Bludgeon Brothers, they won the match so short, and what a way to win it with if I'm not mistaken, a rope, a corn, turn, doing a set out powerbomb off the ropes, off the turnbuckle. Wow. As soon as I saw it landing, I thought, yeah, that'll be it. Now, the next topic I want to discuss, as much as I thought the Ronda was going to be the final one, was The Undertaker versus Cena. Oh, the whole build-up. Cena being there. Right. This is also going to affect the Charlotte match as well. Charlotte defeating the Streak. Having John Cena run up the ramp while Charlotte is celebrating her victory. Wow. What a way to disrespect them. I thought that was very, very wrong. The fact that Asuka Street's just been defeated, been lost, she just lost, and whatnot. Then you have Cena brush it aside by literally running up the ramp saying, "He's here, he's here, I better get ready." Why couldn't you let them have a few seconds just to get to the back and wait just for they're about to announce the next match, and then I've seen it dart up before the next match, before the Jinder Mahal match? Why not then? You thought you might take away from the United States match. Why was it that it wasn't okay for them to interrupt that match, but it was okay to interrupt the Streak being defeated? Not right. But what I did find funny was the fact that Elias trolled everybody by using the music and then coming in and ding. I thought what they did with Elias was a bit despicable. Having him just getting absolutely destroyed by Cena. Not right. Absolutely not right. I don't agree with it. I thought it was distasteful for Elias, and I think Elias deserves more, especially with the fact that he's getting over with the crowd. He is massive getting over, especially with his version of WWE. What does WWE stand for? Walk with Elias. It's getting over. Why is it that WWE, suddenly when people are getting themselves over with something, that they're not pulling the damn trigger? We've got Rusev. We've got Elias. Oh, good Lord. I just realised. Please don't mess up Shinsuke. Now, back onto its topic. Undertaker finally made his appearance. Now, a lot of people had the rumours that this match was not going to happen. What was so shocking about the match was that the fact that I expected this to be a back and forth brawl, knockout street fight. Now, what we got instead was Undertaker squashing John Cena, if I'm not mistaken, in less than 3 minutes. What the hell? Okay, John Cena has been talking a lot of smack lately against Undertaker, and this does actually bring some credibility back to Undertaker, bringing him back as a badass. Definitely. Which I actually thought the American Badass was going to be making an appearance, but no. It was shocking. I never expected John Cena to be destroyed in less than 3 minutes. Did not see that coming. Did not see that coming one bit at all. But at the same time, I think, was that their way of stating to the crowd, one thing I will state, was Undertaker ready for a big match? Did he have it that short because of possibly having surgery? Was he unwell and whatnot? And they were backed into a corner, but with the whole thing with Cena's match being cancelled for Rey Mysterio and everything. I think this possibly could lead up to more for Undertaker and whatnot. Who knows? But I thought it was very interesting. I thought it was brilliant the fact that they had Undertaker winning against John Cena in the place where he lost the streak. I thought it was absolutely amazing. The fact that they did that, classy, but at the same time, I did not expect John Cena to be losing so quickly. And at the same time, it also shows that WWE is. That was almost like saying to the younger guys, step the hell up. Because we're passing, as much as we are at WrestleMania, we are giving you more time because we are having us so short. Do us proud. And that's what I think personally. But Undertaker come out looking like a badass. I thought the fact that Cena freaked, went over for the final knuckle off and come up and see Taker popped up, whoa, and just got destroyed. Did not see that coming. Anyway, I digress. Moving on. Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon defeating Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and that means Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are still fired. Nia Jax defeating Alexa Bliss. As much as I did predict Alexa Bliss to win, I did expect it, but I'm glad that Nia Jax got the win, because I do think, Nia is a decent hand, but I thought it might be a bit too soon, but the way the match went, couldn't be done any better. Perfect way to do it. I did not expect using the corner turnbuckle assisted Samoan drop. What a way to kill Alexa. Definitely a way. Then the next match is AJ Styles defeating Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship. By the way, Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss was for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. Now back to AJ Styles defeating Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship and successfully defeating it. And Braun Strowman and Nicholas defeating Cesaro and Sheamus for the Tag Team Championship for the WWE Raw Tag Team Championship. And the last one being Brock Lesnar defeating Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal Championship. Now that's all out the way. That's the entire basic WrestleMania and everything all sorted out. Now, as I stated, I've got a lot to explain. I'm trying to I've still got a lot to cover, but I'm going to try to speed this up as much as I can. What I thought was unbelievable this week was the fact that on Raw, we're going to go over to WWE Raw now, that Paige has retired from wrestling. I knew it was coming, and I thought it was a heartfelt promo of her announcement to retire, and I thought it was absolutely amazing the fact that she mentioned Daniel Bryan coming back, and then the fact that she had Edge comforting her and stating it's not the end of everything and whatnot. I honestly thought that was going to be it. She'll be coming back over to the UK with a family and whatnot, but what a way to trick us. The fact that she retired on Raw and then on SmackDown, she enters SmackDown. Now, what role will she be in? Well, I'll get to that now. Shane McMahon had to announce that because Daniel Bryan is now a full member, been able to return to wrestling, he is now a full-time SmackDown member of the roster, and due to it, he has released Daniel Bryan from his GM duties and whatnot, and as such. Now, what was so interesting was who was picked for the new GM of SmackDown. A lot of people were expecting Hulk Hogan. There was that prediction. I never saw this one coming, with Paige being the new GM of SmackDown. Absolutely unbelievable, unheard of, and I hope nothing but the best for Paige and whatnot, especially with how much she has worked damn hard. And what a match to announce for the main event, but more on that later, as I've got more to continue on. Now, I'm going to have to mention on Raw that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn turning up was absolutely a stroke of genius. Please, give us a job. And then Kurt Angle stating, and what a sick burn this was for TNA/Impact Wrestling. What was it? I think TNA's hiring. Oh, did not see that. Did not expect that. But sick burn come in. But it was amazing, especially with the whole Del Rio being released and whatnot, and the fact that they seem to be acquiring some new wrestlers and whatnot. But what was so clever was that Kurt Angle offered them an opportunity, only one of them, to become a full member of the Raw roster. They had to face each other to win it. And what a match that was. Back and forth. I loved the fact that, they ended it on a draw. I did not... It was just unbelievable. I did, however, expect them to eventually turn up on SmackDown, possibly, and whatnot, but that didn't happen. One thing I would state, I would have loved it if... it could still happen. I would love it if Kevin Owens had just tried Raw, retry SmackDown, especially with Paige now being there, fails that, tries NXT, tries 205 Live, which will be funny as hell, comedy, straight away, and then we have an attempt on possibly even trying to get back into NXT, but eventually they get brought back onto the main roster, either on Raw or SmackDown. Either one would be happy, but personally I think the Empire would be really suited for Raw at the moment in time with the shake-up and whatnot. But my God, unbelievable. Did not expect that. Keep up the good work with the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn story, please. Now, the Raw Tag Team Championship has been vacated, and what a way to vacate it. Especially with Nicholas being there, and the reason why Braun ends up vacating it is because Nicholas can't meet all the dates required to defend the championship because he's still in school. Wow. Absolutely pure genius. Did not expect that. Amazing. But what was so funny about it is how you got Nicholas saying, the second he gets a chance, somebody will get these hands. I thought that was pure genius, and my God, they've even continued it, especially with creating Nicholas's own, if I'm not mistaken, Titantron video with music and whatnot. That is hilarious. I'm pretty sure I think someone did. It might have been WWE. If not, whoever created it, my God, thank you very much. Absolute genius. Did not see that coming. But anyway, moving on from that topic, I know I apologise for the rushing, the fact that I've got a lot to cover and I won't be taking up too much of your time. Samoa Joe made his return, especially when Roman Reigns was in the ring, stating that he's really angry with the fact that Brock Lesnar has managed to get more money out of WWE by extending his contract, and that the fact that he's going to be facing Roman Reigns is going to be fighting him in another match, possibly where he's going to win the WWE Championship at the Greater Royal Rumble. What was so interesting straight after was Joe returning, stating his fact that Roman Reigns has got a theory. Roman Reigns is blaming everybody else, he's not accepting the fact that he lost to Brock Lesnar. Every time it's Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, who gets his ass kicked? Roman Reigns. Basically what he was saying is Roman Reigns becomes Brock's bitch. And straight away, what was so interesting was that Joe followed it up with, regardless of the fact, when the Beast does put down your ass, I'll be a backlash for you, ready to put your ass to sleep. Boom! Joe's a badass, still is. I'm sorry, Roman, Joe's going to kill you. Now, Elias has had a bad, for a whole week, he's had it rough. Because the Monday after, the Raw after WrestleMania, he comes out, he attempts to sing, and the crowd are cheering him. And I thought it was absolutely genius how he literally changed his song to, even though you're all clapping, I want to punch every single one of you in the face. It's funny. It's brilliant. The fact that regardless of, most people would still want to be, oh, I'm the cool heel, I'm going to get cheered, I'm going to accept it. He isn't. He's pushing. He is really trying to get the heat as much as possible. But I have to give him the credit for that. The fact is, regardless of it, as much as I think he should be turning face, I love the fact that he is still committed to what he's been given. I love it. But what happened next, what brought the Elias show to an end, Bobby Lashley making a return and making his presence known. My God, he's a beast. Absolute beast. And it also links possibly to Kurt Angle's burn from early on. The fact that they've managed to acquire Bobby Lashley from Impact Wrestling. Wow. He come in, he looked like a badass. As soon as he lifting Elias up, boom. One arm. He's holding up one arm. He's turning around. And eventually, after the long, what could have been a suplex for days, he puts him out of his misery. Absolutely brilliant. What a return. And possibly, if, in some of the build-up, if Brock Lesnar does successfully keep the belt and whatnot, there is the rumour that Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, if Lesnar has still got a contract then. That I would be interested to see, because I honestly think Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar would be a very good and legitimate match that people would like to see. Lesnar versus Lashley. It's either going to turn very real or it's going to be amazing. And the good thing about it is if Brock, regardless of the results, it will still look brilliant. Regardless. Now, it was nice the fact that this week we had some NXT, on both Raw and SmackDown. I will get to the SmackDown ones after the Raw ones. I thought it was absolutely fantastic that we got Ember Moon making her debut. No way, Jose, the Authors of Pain. Ember Moon had a great appearance, especially. What was so great about Ember Moon making an appearance on Raw was tagging with the champ and pinning Alexa Bliss, the former champ. So straight away, they've got some faith in Ember Moon straight away. I can see big things for Ember Moon, but we'll have to see what comes up. No way, Jose. I like the fact that the way they did it, they're giving him jobbers and whatnot. I just see him as another Adam Rose. I can see him getting lost in the shuffle and whatnot, and possibly going back down to NXT. If not, going on to the Independents, and that's that. I do apologise, No Way Jose. I just don't think, unless he changes the gimmick, it's not a gimmick that gets used very well, because it's not one to be taken serious. The highest I think you'll possibly get with that gimmick is either possibly tag team, which is doubtful, but I think maybe Intercontinental if it's still on Raw and whatnot. But that's a very low push. I can't see that. But at the moment in time, I do apologise, no, Jose. I think you're a great worker. I just think they brought you up too soon for it. Now, the MVPs of the NXT bring up was the Authors of Pain. What a way to make a debut on Raw, destroying the first ever SmackDown tag champions, Rhino and Heath Slater, straight off the bat, killing it. Now, what was so shocking with the fact that they didn't just debut, it was the fact that what they did with Paul Ellering. I expected Paul Ellering to be there, but I didn't expect him. Oh, I knew he was going to be around, but I just didn't expect him to actually be coming down to ringside. I thought, oh, really? I thought to myself, is he going to actually attempt the whole busy schedule? And then they managed to find a way to get Paul Ellering out of the busy travel schedule that he doesn't want to do anymore. And by the fact that the Authors of Pain left Paul Ellering at ringside as they finished the match. And Paul Ellering, when it comes to questions, when all the Pains were being questioned about what was the whole deal with Paul Ellering, and Ellering come in questions like, your chapter's done, it's closed. Now, I think that was completely clever how they did that, because straight away, Paul Ellering can potentially gain a new tag team on NXT. And I know I haven't got this on the list of things to cover, but the War Raiders have debuted, and I can see possibly Paul Ellering being mixed with them. And when the War Raiders get debut on the main roster, I can potentially see Ellering sending them on the Authors of Pain as a payback, for sure. Now, on SmackDown, there we go. We've got some interesting things to cover right now. Two points I want to cover straight away from SmackDown, which is Charlotte did a speech saying she wants to know what's next. Then the Iconics make their debut from NXT. I think it's absolutely brilliant the fact that they're on SmackDown, but I did notice that they were the only NXT lot to come up for SmackDown. Why didn't SmackDown get more? They could get more possibly from the Superstar shake-up and whatnot. I was going to possibly mention some predictions today, but unfortunately, due to time fitting all this in, I can't, unfortunately. I thought it was brilliant how the Iconics debuted on SmackDown, absolutely decimating Charlotte, using the numbers game on them, beating her up to a pulp, and then as soon as you saw the beat down, I thought to myself, no, they're not going to do that. Carmella comes flying down with her briefcase, cashing in her money in the bank. Carmella, the person who has held the money in the bank the longest ever. Now, what was so interesting was the fact that I thought to myself, oh, she's probably going to attempt the kick, Charlotte's going to kick out and defeat her. No, she actually got the win. And what's so interesting is that could be interesting, because could that possibly lead to Charlotte going to Raw? Possibly, who knows, because that could lead to the whole Ronda Rousey vibe and whatnot. But it's very interesting to say. But I liked how they did it with Carmella. As much as a lot of people were saying she's going to fail her cash in, I love the fact that they allowed her to be successful. And I think as much as she has had her character being beaten down and whatnot, I love the fact that they actually do that. They do that with the Money Bank winners, so people don't expect it, and when they do, it's a big shock. it's great. They've done it so many times and they've pulled it off so well. Now, I love the fact that she was successful in this win. Absolutely props to her. Congratulations to Carmella on becoming the new WWE Women's SmackDown Women's Champion. Now, back to Paige becoming GM. The dream match main event of SmackDown. She booked Daniel Bryan, the Yes Man, versus the phenomenal AJ Styles. Absolutely knocked it out of the park. It's a dream match. But I thought, wow. But as soon as I saw it being announced, and I thought the whole Nakamura thing, I thought they weren't done with Nakamura. So I knew what was going to happen. And this is genius. On the WWE side, the fact that they had Nakamura ruin a dream match. Could this eventually turn, AJ Styles versus Nakamura more personal? Could Daniel Bryan be thrown into the mix? Who knows? I would love if Daniel Bryan got thrown into the mix, because straight away, underdog story and whatnot, it would be absolutely amazing. Fantastic and whatnot. But, with that, it'd be absolutely great and whatnot. So more on that possibly in the upcoming weeks. Now, I am possibly going to have to report. There is the rumour that there is a possibility that Rusev Day being over or moving somewhere else. There is the rumour that Rusev could be possibly leaving WWE and whatnot, but I can't confirm that as of yet. But the reason why I'm dubious of this, because the fact that he didn't win the US Championship at WrestleMania, which was the perfect time for him. They then announced Undertaker versus Rusev at the Greatest Royal Rumble ever for a casket match. What was so cryptic was the fact that you got Rusev stating to Undertaker, please just bury me gently. Straight away. Was he being honest? Was he being legit? Did he be sort of saying, I spoke to management, got that match changed over. I thought it was unfair. The fact that he wants Undertaker to wrestle, and he wants Rusev to face Undertaker in a casket match on Rusev Day, and blah 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 and whatnot. I understand that, but it could be the fact that they used Lana to legitimately change the match to a bigger match, which I'll explain who's now in Rusev's place instead. But the fact is, I can possibly see Rusev leaving WWE, which if it is, what the hell WWE? Rusev is over. Use it. But more on that later, and if he does, I can possibly see Rusev going either to Impact Wrestling or ROH. If not, I'd love to see him over in the UK, getting many bookings. Now, as for his replacement, which is a massive replacement, and does produce a massive match, which is Chris Jericho filling in the place to face Undertaker. That match will be outstanding and great. I look forward to that match, but is this to protect Undertaker? Because whatnot, but who knows with it. I honestly think but personally I think Rusev would have been better and whatnot, but I do think Rusev would have been better, but it's too predictable, way too predictable who's going to win that match. I think Undertaker's definitely winning that match, that casket match, but with Chris Jericho, him losing to Taker, it wouldn't damage him so much. Rusev, yes, it would. And the fact that you've now taken him out of the match, you've already done more damage to his credibility. And I think the way, if he does leave, if Rusev does leave WWE, no one will blame him for doing so, because they've done, as much as they put him in the match on a whim, and he may have heat in the back locker room because of his comments that he's been making on Twitter and whatnot. Why should he be rejected to being nothing but a joke of this, doing that? He's got it over. You made a mockery of him with the whole Angle Rusev Day. He's now got it over, and you will not legitimately push him. How many times have you tried to push Rusev? You're about to push him, a big push. Let's cut it out. I think that what WWE have done with Rusev has been appalling, and I think that if he does deceive, I wouldn't blame him and whatnot. Anyway, that's it for the news for WWE and whatnot. Let's move over to some British wrestling. Now, as some of you may or may not know, I released the Academy Pro Wrestling Ground Zero review on Friday. If anybody's interested in checking that out, please just go to the BurningTruthUK.com website and click it on the reviews. It should be the first one, the major one there, and just check it out. Now, if some of you have already been on it, yes, I do apologise if there was a mistake during one of the matches that wasn't fully filled out. Unfortunately, due to the upload, it didn't quite put all the, my full review of the match. So basically, it looked like the other guy managed to hit the finisher, but the other guy won. I apologise for the mistake with that and whatnot, but that has been corrected. As soon as I was made aware of it, I quickly got onto it and got that updated. That has been corrected if anybody has noticed it. If not, you're first finding out. That's from me. Now, I'm hopefully going to be doing another review for the Academy Pro Wrestling, which is for the Academy Pro Wrestling on Tour, which was for the show yesterday at Whitchurch. Absolutely phenomenal show, brilliant work from top to bottom. Definitely, I do honestly think that Academy Pro Wrestling should be on tour again at Whitchurch more often, because what a show! Knocked it out the park. Crowd were red hot. Absolutely fantastic, and it's almost like a bit of a prelude. It was like a great prelude to their main show, which is coming up this coming Saturday. It's definitely one to watch. If anybody is interested in going to that show, which I'm just getting the details of it right now for everybody right now. So I do apologise if it sounds like I am just jumbling on. I'm trying to get the full title of the show now, but hopefully I should be sharing out the link. But if anybody is interested, do check out their social media, which if you just type in the Academy Pro Wrestling, you'll pretty much find it straight away. Which I'm just getting it up now for everybody to see. Well, not to see as in per se on this. Apologies for that. The Academy Pro Wrestling, they do absolutely phenomenal work with the training and whatnot. But as for this Friday, which is April 21st, they've already got some big matches, which is, if I'm not mistaken, the title of Retribution, I believe it is called. I'm just getting that confirmed right now. Yeah, I was right. The title of Retribution, Saturday 21st of April at the Kaioshinkai Martial Arts and Fitness Centre, Courtworks Industrial Estate, Bridge North Road, Madeley, Telford, TF7 4JB. If anybody's interested in the tickets, they are £5.50 for adults, £4.50 for children, and a family ticket for which is £16, which, if I'm not mistaken, should be 2 children and 2 adults. And if anybody's interested in getting tickets, they can either call on 07586 688 744, or by going onto the website, the Academy Wrestling Telford.bigcartel.com. And that is definitely going to be another show that is definitely one not to miss. especially with one match being Joey Sanchez versus Jamie Future. It's most likely going to, regardless of the results, somebody could end up leaving the academy permanently, and somebody's most likely going to be either in an ambulance or far worse. It's definitely going to be a match, and it's also going to be an interesting main event for Title of Retribution, especially with Luke Basham versus CJ Connors, especially with the fact that Connors absolutely viciously dropped CJ Connors dropped Luke Basham headfirst onto the belt. Oh no, not onto the belt, onto a steel chair, possibly trying to end the career and his reign. Because he wants that championship belt so much. But more on that, and hopefully I should be getting a review for that done as well. But as of right now, that'll be a wrap up of this episode of The Burning Truth. I know it's been longer than usual, so I'm just going to throw out my usual plugs, which is the UK Wrestling Media, actually more on the UK Wrestling Media. From the show at the On Tour, they actually asked me to do a quick segment, a quick interview with Joe Black, straight hot off the presses from his King of the Kingdom Championship match, which I will state, phenomenal match, which was originally scheduled to be Joe Black versus Drill, potentially, amazing, but it ended up being Joe Black versus Drill versus Joe Sanchez. So technically, all people who have held the belt in one match, and it ended up being the fact that we've got Joe Black literally putting the nail in the coffin in the match, swanton bombing Drill, and I'm sorry to say this, it looks like could this be the fact that Joe has put an end to Justice for Drill? But anyway, back to the plugs. I'd like to give a massive shout out to the UKWM, also known as UK Wrestling Media. They do absolutely phenomenal work and whatnot, They always do. They did multiple recordings for me this week, with me getting so many interviews, which I will just now mention, as some of you might not have noticed. If you haven't, I have got a interview coming out this Tuesday, 5 PM UK time. That will be with the powerhouse Regan, and I will say he is a powerhouse, because especially if you read me review of his match against Shane Hardy, where he brutalised him. So straight away, massive shout out, check out their social media and whatnot, and pages and whatnot. I'd like to give a massive shout out to JG Printing and Stitching. They do absolute great work. Check them out. Changes for Healthy Wellbeing, check out their website, because you never know with changes, because if you go on there onto the Changes UK website and whatnot, health and wellbeing, you never know, it could actually provide some information that can help you, or possibly help anyone that you might know. You never know. I want to give a shout out to Team 4-Star, who do the Dragon Ball Z Bridge series. We're still waiting for the continuation of the Dragon Ball Z Bridge series, but keep up as soon as they got that done, I hope they have there some great content when they do that. I want to give two shout out to two bands, which is the New Breed in Kamenz. Apologise if I mispronounce any of the bands I just mentioned. Both bands are absolutely fantastic. They do great stuff. Check them out. And as always, I want to give a shout out to Matthew of Botchamania for Botchamania. Keep up the good work, Matthew. I've always got to plug you. Keep it up. You do fantastic work. And the last plug for now is going to be Barely Average Studios, which is on YouTube. A friend of mine who does game reviews. Check him out. He does some interesting game reviews. Well, I think so personally. So give them a check out on YouTube under Barely Average Studios. Now, the last thing I'm going to be plugging right now, which, that's the plug for other places, I'm going to be plugging my own merchandise, which if anybody's interested in purchasing any merchandise or even just going onto the website for any recent show reviews or ones, basically, if anybody's interested in listening to the most recent broadcast or even listening to us live and whatnot, if anybody's interested in reviews, if anybody's interested in blogs, if anybody's interested in buying merchandise of The Burning Truth, just go to www.theburningtruthuk.com. And if anybody's interested in the merchandise section, we are selling some snazzy t-shirts and some mugs that can prove very useful. Can be very useful. Birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, whatever gifts, or even if it's an I'm sorry gift, you never know. But till then, for now, I'm just going to hopefully state. Right now, I'll hopefully hear from you all, or you'll hear from me at the next broadcast, the next interview, the next review, and as always, check out your local wrestling and stay safe. Catch you later.